Chapter 1. The Journey Begins. Welcome, friends. Today, we will learn English through a very interesting story. This story is about a man many people know, Donald Trump. You may know him as a businessman, a TV star, or even a president. He is famous, and some people also find him controversial. But today, we do not focus on politics. Instead, we focus on his life story and the lessons we can learn. You will see how a person can face challenges, make mistakes, and still reach big goals. While listening, you will practice English in a simple and easy way. Donald Trump's life is full of contrasts. He was not always rich or powerful. As a young boy, he lived in New York City in a normal family. He had dreams, but he also faced problems. Sometimes he made mistakes. Sometimes he failed. But he also learned lessons from these moments. He worked hard, made decisions, and took risks. His story shows us that success does not come quickly. It comes from learning, trying again, and never giving up. This is very important for all of us. We can learn English and life lessons together. Learning English through stories is powerful. Stories help our brain remember words and sentences better. When we hear stories about real people, we understand emotions, situations, and ideas in simple English. Donald Trump's life has many moments that show courage, mistakes, and smart choices. We will explore these moments step by step. You will see his life as a journey. There are ups and downs, successes and failures. And through all these moments, there are lessons for all of us. In this video, we will follow Donald from his childhood to adulthood. We will see his early challenges, his education, and his first business steps. We will also see his successes, his failures, and his personal life. Every part of the story has something to teach. You will learn simple English words, sentences, and expressions. You will also learn about ambition, hard work, and persistence. By the end of this story, you will feel inspired to try your best in your own life. So, get ready. Listen carefully, repeat after me, and enjoy the story. Pay attention to the simple English sentences. Think about the lessons in Donald Trump's life. Think about what you can do in your life, too. And remember, learning English is like a journey, just like Donald's life. Every step matters. Every small effort counts. Now, let's start the journey. First, we will go back to his early childhood and family. You will see how his story begins and why it shaped the man he became. Chapter 2. From New York, Dreams to Family Roots. Welcome back, friends. Now we begin the first part of Donald Trump's story, his early life and family. Donald John Trump was born on June 14, 1946, in New York City. He grew up in a busy neighborhood called Queens. His family was not poor, but they were not extremely rich either. His father, Fred Trump, was a businessman. He built and sold houses and apartments in New York. His mother, Mary Ann, was kind and supportive. She took care of Donald and his siblings with love and care. From a young age, Donald saw both hard work and opportunity around him. As a child, Donald was energetic and curious. He liked to explore, ask questions, and play with his friends. He also had a strong personality. Sometimes he was confident, sometimes stubborn. For example, he liked to win in every game he played. Even when he lost, he tried again. His parents noticed this. They wanted him to learn discipline and focus. His father often told him, "Work hard and be smart. You can achieve more if you plan carefully." These words stayed with Donald as he grew up. They planted the first seeds of ambition in his mind. School was not always easy for Donald. Like other children, he faced challenges. Sometimes he struggled to follow rules. He liked to speak his mind, even when teachers were strict. He was competitive with his classmates, and sometimes this caused small problems. However, he also had opportunities. He went to a good school and had access to books, lessons, and experiences that many children did not have. He learned about business from his father, and he also learned how to express himself. This combination of challenge and opportunity shaped his personality. It made him confident, strong, and willing to take risks. Donald's family had high expectations. His parents wanted him to succeed, but they also wanted him to learn responsibility. For example, they asked him to help with small tasks around the house and to learn about money from a young age. Donald learned how to manage small projects and how to think about money carefully. He also learned about leadership. Even as a young boy, he liked to organize his friends when they played games. He liked to be a leader. Sometimes this caused arguments with others, but it also gave him experience in guiding people. These early lessons in leadership were important for his future. Donald also had hobbies that helped him grow. He loved reading books about business, history, and famous people. He liked stories about men and women who achieved great things. These stories inspired him. He imagined himself growing up and achieving something big. At the same time, he spent time playing sports. He played football and baseball. These activities taught him teamwork, strategy, and competition. They also taught him how to handle winning and losing. Even small experiences like these contributed to his character. One important lesson from Donald's early life is how environment shapes ambition. He saw his father working hard, making deals, and taking risks. He saw that success comes from effort, planning, and learning. At the same time, he faced normal childhood struggles. He had friends, school rules, and small failures. This balance between challenge and support helped him grow. He learned that life is about both hard work and smart decisions. He also learned that confidence and persistence are important. These lessons from childhood stayed with him for his whole life. Donald's early personality traits, confidence, stubbornness, and curiosity, were shaped by his family and school. He learned to take opportunities when they appeared. He also learned to handle challenges with determination. Even small moments, like helping his father with projects or organizing friends' games, taught him important skills. These moments were lessons in responsibility, leadership, and ambition. They show us that childhood experiences can influence the person we become. Even ordinary challenges can teach extraordinary lessons if we pay attention and learn. In summary, Donald Trump's early life in New York City was a mix of normal childhood challenges and special opportunities. His parents, school, and environment all shaped his personality. He learned about hard work, leadership, confidence, and persistence. He also learned to take advantage of opportunities and to try again after mistakes. These lessons were the foundation for his later successes. They prepared him for bigger challenges, important decisions, and ambitious goals. Understanding his early life helps us see how ordinary experiences can grow into extraordinary achievements. Next, we will follow Donald into his teen years. We will see how he faced new challenges in school, how discipline became more important, and how he started to prepare for the future. His teenage years at the military academy will teach him lessons about structure, focus, and responsibility. Chapter 3. Lessons from a Young and Ambitious Student. Welcome back, friends. Now, we move to an important part of Donald Trump's life, his teen years and school challenges. Donald was growing fast. He was strong, active, and full of energy. But growing up is not always easy. Teenagers face new challenges, and Donald was no different. He had to learn discipline, responsibility, and how to control his strong personality. At the same time, he needed to focus on school and prepare for his future. These years were full of lessons that shaped his later life. Donald started attending the New York Military Academy when he was 13. The academy was strict. It had rules for everything: waking up early, making the bed, attending classes, marching in formation, and following teachers' instructions. At first, Donald found it hard. He was used to doing things his own way. Sometimes he argued with teachers or classmates. Sometimes he wanted to skip small rules. But the academy also taught important skills: time management, respect, and discipline. Slowly, Donald learned to follow rules while keeping his confidence. Schoolwork was another challenge. Donald was bright, but he sometimes struggled with subjects that required a lot of reading and writing. He preferred practical subjects like business, math, and economics. He worked hard to understand lessons and solve problems. He compared himself with other students. Some students were naturally good at studying and obeying rules, while others struggled. Donald realized that talent alone was not enough. Hard work, focus, and determination were important. This lesson stayed with him throughout his life. Sports and competition were also important in these years. Donald joined sports teams and participated in games like baseball and football. These activities taught him how to work in a team and how to compete fairly. Sometimes he lost, sometimes he won. The key lesson was resilience. Losing a game did not stop him. He practiced more, improved, and tried again. This attitude of learning from both success and failure helped him in school and later in business. Donald also learned leadership during his teen years. He was confident and often led his classmates in group activities. Sometimes this caused small conflicts, but it also gave him valuable experience. He learned how to speak in front of people, how to motivate others, and how to make quick decisions. These small experiences were important lessons for the future. Leadership is not only about power, it is about responsibility and guiding others. Discipline was a major theme during these years. Donald had to balance schoolwork, sports, and his personal interests. Sometimes it was hard. He had to wake up early, study late, and follow many rules. At times he felt tired or frustrated, but he learned that discipline creates freedom. By following rules and managing his time well, he could achieve more and reach bigger goals. This understanding of structure and focus became a foundation for his adult life. Friendship and social life were also part of these years. Donald made friends who shared his interests and ambitions. He learned about teamwork, loyalty, and trust. He also learned to handle disagreements and competition in healthy ways. Social skills, combined with discipline and resilience, made him stronger. He was preparing for challenges outside school as well. In these teen years, Donald faced choices. He could complain, fight the rules, or give up, or he could work hard, learn lessons, and grow. He chose to focus on improvement. This decision helped him become more ambitious, confident, and prepared for the future. It showed that early struggles are not obstacles. They are opportunities for learning and growth. By the time Donald finished his teen years, he had learned many valuable lessons. He understood the importance of discipline, hard work, resilience, and leadership. He had faced challenges and learned from mistakes. These lessons gave him confidence to take bigger steps in life. They prepared him to make important decisions about his career and future. Next, we will see how Donald began his early career. We will explore his first business experiences, the risks he took, and how he started turning lessons from school into real-life opportunities. His early career choices show the power of preparation, ambition, and learning from experience. Chapter 4: First Steps into Business and Risk. Welcome back, friends. Now we begin the exciting part of Donald Trump's story, his first steps in a real career. After finishing school, Donald was ready to work. He wanted to build something important and meaningful. He remembered the lessons from his family, school, and teen years. He learned discipline, leadership, and resilience. Now, it was time to put these lessons into action. He decided to enter the real estate business, like his father. But starting a career is never easy, and Donald faced many challenges and risks. Donald started working at his father's company, Elizabeth Trump and Son. He learned the business carefully. He helped manage properties, sell houses, and handle money. At first, he made small mistakes. Sometimes he overestimated costs or misunderstood clients. But he learned quickly. He watched his father closely, listened to advice, and tried to improve. One important lesson he learned was that mistakes are not failures if you learn from them. Each mistake was a lesson in how to be smarter next time. Early in his career, Donald saw many opportunities. He wanted to do bigger deals than his father. He wanted to invest in commercial buildings, offices, and hotels. These decisions were risky. He could lose a lot of money if he failed. Some people said he was too ambitious. They warned him to be careful. But Donald believed in his ideas. He studied the market, learned from experts, and planned carefully. He took calculated risks. This is an important lesson for all of us. Success often requires courage, planning, and action. Sometimes Donald faced real challenges. Some deals did not go as planned. Construction projects were delayed, costs increased, and banks were cautious about lending money. He had to negotiate, solve problems, and stay patient. These moments tested his confidence. But instead of giving up, he worked harder. He learned how to manage risk and think strategically. Each small success gave him more knowledge and experience. Each failure taught him how to handle difficulties in business. This combination of courage, planning, and learning from mistakes helped him grow. Donald's personality also played a role in his early career. He was confident, bold, and persuasive. He could talk to clients, investors, and workers with energy and authority. Sometimes, this confidence helped him win deals. Other times, it caused disagreements or conflicts. He learned to balance confidence with listening. He realized that success comes not only from ideas, but also from teamwork and communication. These lessons in people skills became very important for his later successes. One story shows how Donald handled early challenges. He wanted to buy a building in Manhattan, but the deal seemed too risky. The price was high and banks were uncertain. Many people said he should wait. But Donald studied the property carefully. He analyzed costs, income, and potential growth. He decided to take the risk. The building became very profitable. This story teaches us that smart risks, combined with research and planning, can lead to big rewards. Courage and preparation work together. In his early career, Donald also learned about reputation. He realized that honesty, trust, and professionalism matter in business. If people trust you, they will work with you. If they doubt you, it is harder to succeed. He learned to keep promises, negotiate fairly, and act confidently. These lessons helped him build relationships that would last for many years. Strong relationships are important not only in business, but also in life. By the end of these early years, Donald had learned many important lessons. He learned that mistakes are part of learning. He learned that risks can lead to rewards if they are calculated. He learned to be confident but careful. He learned to plan, negotiate, and solve problems. These lessons prepared him for bigger challenges ahead. They laid the foundation for his first major successes and public recognition. Next, we will see Donald's first big breakthroughs. We will follow his journey as he starts winning larger deals, building his brand, and becoming known in New York. These successes show how early lessons, hard work, and courage can combine to create real achievements. His story teaches us that starting small, learning from mistakes, and taking smart risks is the path to bigger victories. Chapter 5. Big Successes and Public Recognition. Welcome back, friends. Now we come to an exciting part of Donald Trump's life, his first big successes and public recognition. After years of hard work, learning from mistakes, and taking calculated risks, Donald began to see results. His early struggles in school and business were turning into achievements. He was becoming known in New York City for his bold projects and ambitious ideas. This part of his story shows how persistence, confidence, and self-belief can lead to public recognition and success. Donald focused on large real estate projects in Manhattan. He wanted to build tall buildings and luxurious hotels. Many people thought these projects were too risky. The cost was high, and the market was competitive. But Donald studied each opportunity carefully. He learned from earlier mistakes and planned every detail. One of his early successes was the transformation of old properties into profitable, modern buildings. These projects were noticed by newspapers, investors, and the public. People started to talk about Donald Trump as a serious and ambitious businessman. His media presence also grew during this time. Donald understood that being seen and recognized was important for success. He attended interviews, gave speeches, and appeared in newspapers and magazines. Some people criticized him, but he used these moments to build his personal brand. He learned that public recognition can be powerful if you present yourself confidently. By appearing in the media and showing his achievements, Donald became known not just as a businessman, but as a personality. This is an important lesson. Visibility and confidence help opportunities grow. Donald's personality contributed to his rise. He was confident, ambitious, and persistent. When he faced challenges, he did not give up. He continued negotiating, investing, and presenting his ideas. For example, when a large skyscraper project seemed impossible, he worked tirelessly to convince investors and city officials. People began to admire his determination. They saw a man who believed in his vision and worked hard to make it real. This lesson of persistence is valuable for all of us. Success often comes to those who keep trying, even when the task seems difficult. Brand building became another important part of his success. Donald used his name as a symbol of luxury and ambition. He attached Trump to hotels, office buildings, and casinos. People recognized his name and associated it with boldness and high quality. This branding strategy helped him attract clients, investors, and media attention. The lesson here is clear. Building a personal brand or reputation can increase opportunities. When people know who you are and what you stand for, they trust you more and want to work with you. Public recognition also taught Donald about managing success and criticism. Some people admired him, but others criticized him strongly. He learned to accept both praise and criticism without losing confidence. This skill is important in life because everyone will face different opinions. Donald's experience shows that self-belief, combined with learning from feedback, can lead to continued growth. Early struggles teach lessons, but recognition and success also require humility and careful planning. By this time, Donald's life had changed significantly. He had gone from a young boy learning lessons in Queens to a businessman known throughout New York. He was building skyscrapers, renovating properties, and creating a brand recognized worldwide. Yet, he knew that challenges still existed. Success brought new problems, and recognition also brought higher expectations. This contrast between early struggles and current achievements teaches an important lesson. Success is not the end of learning. Each new stage of life brings fresh lessons and obstacles. Next, we will explore the challenges and controversies that Donald faced in his business. Even with big successes, not everything went smoothly. Mistakes, risks, and criticism continued to appear. In the following section, we will see how Donald handled these difficult moments, how he learned from failures, and how he continued to grow despite obstacles. This part of his story teaches us that true success requires resilience, careful decision-making, and the ability to face problems with courage and intelligence. Chapter 6. Challenges and Failures. Welcome back, friends. Now we enter an important part of Donald Trump's story, the challenges and failures he faced. Even successful people experience difficult times, and Donald's journey was no different. His life was full of risks, big decisions, and sometimes mistakes. These moments were not easy. They tested his confidence, patience, and problem-solving skills. But these challenges also taught him lessons that helped him grow stronger and wiser. Today, we will see how Donald faced failures, learned from them, and continued his journey toward success. As Donald took on bigger real estate projects, the risks increased. He invested millions of dollars in hotels, casinos, and office buildings. Sometimes these investments did not go as planned. Costs were higher than expected. Markets changed unexpectedly. Some deals failed. For example, certain casino projects faced financial difficulties. Banks were hesitant to lend money and investors became worried. At times, Donald's companies were close to bankruptcy. These events were stressful and public. People talked about his failures in newspapers and on television. Critics said he had made poor decisions. These challenges were very different from his early struggles in school. In school, mistakes were private and small. Now, failures were large and visible. The contrast between early life and adult business life was clear. Success brought attention, but attention also brought pressure. Donald could have been proud and defensive, blaming others for problems, but instead, he chose to learn. He analyzed mistakes carefully. He asked for advice, studied solutions, and planned new strategies. This approach helped him survive financial crises and continue building his business. One lesson from these challenges is that failure is not the end. Failure is a teacher. Donald experienced bankruptcy, delays, and criticism. Each failure was a chance to understand the market better, to improve planning, and to make smarter decisions. For example, after losing money on one project, he carefully reviewed the costs and processes. He learned to negotiate better deals, manage risks more carefully, and prepare for unexpected problems. These lessons helped him make stronger, more confident choices in the future. Another challenge Donald faced was public criticism. When newspapers and television programs discussed his failures, some people judged him harshly. Friends and competitors also questioned his decisions. Pride and ego could have caused him to react angrily. But Donald learned to stay focused. He did not let criticism stop him from working toward his goals. He balanced confidence with humility. He accepted that mistakes happen and that smart leaders learn from them instead of hiding them. Even during hard times, Donald showed resilience. He continued working long hours, meeting clients, and developing projects. He stayed motivated and ambitious. This persistence allowed him to recover from financial difficulties and continue pursuing big ideas. People began to respect him for his ability to bounce back. They saw that challenges do not define a person. How a person responds to challenges does. These years also taught Donald the importance of planning and patience. Some failures occurred because he acted too quickly or underestimated problems. He learned to study projects more carefully, create backup plans, and think ahead. He also learned to ask for help from experts when needed. These skills helped him prevent future mistakes and manage complex projects more successfully. By facing challenges, Donald grew not only as a businessman, but also as a person. He learned humility, patience, and strategic thinking. He understood that pride alone is not enough. Hard work, careful planning, and learning from failures are key to success. This part of his life shows that even when things seem difficult, growth is possible. Challenges and failures are steps toward achievement, not obstacles to stop us. Next, we will look at Donald's personal life. We will explore how he balanced work with family responsibilities. Even during busy and stressful times, family played an important role. Lessons from this part of his life teach us how to manage work, ambition, and personal relationships. By understanding how he handled both successes and challenges, we see the full picture of his journey and the balance required to live a meaningful life. Chapter 7: Personal Life and Family. Welcome back, friends. Now, we explore an important side of Donald Trump's life, his personal life and family. Success in business is important, but life is also about relationships, love, and family. Donald's personal life was full of joys and challenges, just like his career. By looking at his family experiences, we can learn lessons about balancing work, ambition, and personal responsibilities. We will also see how his public image sometimes differed from his private life. Donald grew up in a close family. His parents, Fred and Mary Ann, supported him and his siblings. They taught him values such as hard work, respect, and responsibility. These lessons stayed with him as he became an adult. As a father, Donald tried to pass on similar values to his children. He has 5 children: Donald Jr., Ivanka, Eric, Tiffany, and Barron. Each child has a unique personality, and Donald learned that parenting requires patience, understanding, and guidance. Parenting is not always easy, especially when balancing a busy career. Donald's first marriage was to Ivana Trump, a businesswoman from Czechoslovakia. They married in 1977 and had 3 children together. During their marriage, Donald balanced his work in real estate with family life. He tried to be present at important family moments, like birthdays and school events. At the same time, he was building skyscrapers and negotiating large deals. This period shows a contrast between private responsibilities and public ambitions. Even successful people face the challenge of giving attention to both work and family. Later, Donald experienced personal challenges, including divorce and remarriage. Life is not always perfect, and these experiences taught him lessons about relationships, communication, and compromise. He learned that family and love require effort, understanding, and respect. Mistakes can happen, but they are opportunities to learn and grow. These experiences also humanize him, showing that everyone faces difficulties in personal life, even public figures. Donald also learned the importance of leading by example. He wanted his children to understand the value of hard work, ambition, and perseverance. For example, he involved his children in business discussions and encouraged them to pursue their own goals. He tried to teach lessons about decision-making, responsibility, and resilience. While not every moment was easy, these experiences show that guidance, mentorship, and support are essential in family life. Another lesson from Donald's personal life is balancing work and ambition with personal happiness. Business deals, skyscrapers, and media appearances took much of his time. Yet, he also valued family dinners, holidays, and personal moments. Finding balance is a lesson for all of us. Ambition is important, but relationships and love bring fulfillment. Success in life is not only about money or recognition. It is also about meaningful connections with others. Public attention added complexity to his personal life. The media often focused on his marriages, children, and private matters. This public scrutiny can be stressful. Donald learned to manage public perception while keeping family matters private when possible. He also learned the value of loyalty, trust, and protecting loved ones. These lessons are valuable for anyone managing work, public life, or family responsibilities. Through these experiences, Donald became more aware of human emotions and personal values. He learned patience, empathy, and understanding. He also learned that mistakes are opportunities for growth. Parenting, relationships, and family challenges teach lessons that business alone cannot. They shape character, decision-making, and personal priorities. These lessons are part of the full story of success and life. In summary, Donald Trump's personal life teaches us about the importance of family, balance, and values. His experiences show that ambition must be balanced with relationships. Mistakes are natural, but learning from them is essential. Through parenting, marriages, and personal challenges, he learned lessons that strengthened him as a person and a leader. Next, we will explore Donald's career in television and media. We will see how he used media to build his personal brand, gain recognition, and connect with people. These experiences also teach lessons about communication, presentation, and confidence. His story shows that personal life and public image can influence each other, and that both require attention and care. Chapter 8: TV Career and Media Presence. Welcome back, friends. Now, we explore an exciting part of Donald Trump's story, his career in television and media. While real estate built his wealth, television gave him fame and influence. Media allowed Donald to show his personality to the public and create a personal brand recognized worldwide. In this section, we will see how he used television to grow his reputation, face criticism, and develop communication skills. This part of his life teaches lessons about branding, confidence, and resilience under public scrutiny. In 2004, Donald became the host of a new reality television show called The Apprentice. The show featured contestants competing for a job in his company. Donald's role was to observe, judge, and make decisions about who would succeed. On television, he appeared confident, decisive, and sometimes strict. He became famous for his phrase, "You're fired!" People watched the show eagerly, and Donald became a household name. The show was popular not only in the United States, but also internationally. His media presence grew rapidly. However, television fame brought both admiration and criticism. Some viewers admired his confidence, business knowledge, and leadership style. Others criticized his personality and decisions. Donald learned an important lesson. Public recognition is powerful, but it comes with scrutiny. Fame can amplify both praise and criticism. To succeed in media, he had to stay focused, handle negative feedback, and maintain his image. This is a lesson for everyone. Resilience under public observation is a skill that can be developed. Donald's TV persona was slightly different from his private personality. On television, he needed to appear decisive, entertaining, and strong. In real life, he was more thoughtful, reflective, and sometimes cautious. This contrast taught him how to adapt to different audiences. He realized that presentation matters. People notice confidence, clarity, and energy. This lesson is important for communication in any field. Learning to present ideas effectively can influence opportunities and success. Through television, Donald also learned about personal branding. He attached his name to projects, products, and experiences in media. His name became a symbol of ambition, luxury, and bold decision-making. People recognized the Trump brand, not just in real estate, but also in entertainment. Branding teaches us that consistent effort, clear identity, and visibility can create opportunities. By managing his media presence carefully, Donald increased his influence and expanded his reach. Television also taught him patience and negotiation skills. He had to deal with contestants, producers, and public expectations. Not every episode went as planned. Sometimes conflicts arose between contestants or team members. Donald learned to handle disagreements diplomatically while maintaining authority. These experiences strengthened his leadership and decision-making abilities. They also reinforced lessons about staying calm under pressure and thinking strategically. Criticism continued to be a challenge. Some media outlets questioned his decisions and style. Public opinion varied greatly, yet Donald did not stop. He focused on his goals, worked hard, and continued to appear on television. He learned to separate productive feedback from negative noise. This ability to filter information and stay confident is a lesson in resilience and focus. Public scrutiny can be challenging, but it also offers opportunities to improve and grow. By the end of his TV career, Donald had learned valuable lessons about communication, branding, and public influence. He saw the power of media in shaping perceptions and creating opportunities. He also understood that fame can be temporary if not managed carefully. These experiences prepared him for a new chapter: politics. The skills he developed in media, communication, presentation, resilience, and leadership would help him in the next stage of his life. Next, we will explore Donald's political ambitions. We will see how he transitioned from business and television fame to running for president. His media skills, confidence, and personal branding played an important role in his campaign. By studying this part of his life, we can learn lessons about ambition, courage, and the importance of preparation in pursuing big goals. Chapter 9. Entering Politics. Welcome back, friends. Now, we come to a fascinating chapter in Donald Trump's life: his entry into politics. After years of success in business and television, he decided to take on a new challenge: running for President of the United States. This was a bold decision. Many people doubted him. Critics said he had no political experience and would face enormous challenges. Yet, Donald was confident. He believed in his vision and was willing to take risks. This part of his story teaches lessons about ambition, courage, and following a bold goal, even when others doubt you. Donald announced his candidacy in 2015. From the beginning, his campaign was different from traditional political campaigns. He used his media experience to communicate directly with the public. He gave speeches, appeared in interviews, and shared his ideas clearly and confidently. People were both surprised and curious. Some supporters were excited by his energy and direct approach. Others criticized him for breaking political norms. This contrast between doubt and confidence created a tension, which helped his campaign grow quickly. Campaigning was not easy. Donald traveled across the country, giving speeches in cities and towns. He faced tough questions, strong opponents, and sometimes harsh criticism. Some media outlets focused on his mistakes or controversial statements. Supporters and critics debated fiercely. Despite these challenges, Donald remained focused on his message. He emphasized ideas that were important to him, such as economic growth, jobs, and national security. His confidence and persistence helped him navigate the difficulties of a national campaign. One important lesson from this stage is the value of taking risks. Running for president was uncertain and risky. Donald could have lost public support, faced financial loss, or damaged his reputation. But he chose to follow his vision. This teaches us that bold goals require courage. Ambition often involves stepping into the unknown. Success comes to those who take calculated risks while staying focused and prepared. Donald's campaign shows that confidence, clarity, and persistence can overcome doubt from others. Another lesson is resilience. During the campaign, Donald faced criticism from both media and politicians. He experienced personal attacks, public scrutiny, and challenging debates. Some moments were discouraging, but he learned to stay calm, respond strategically, and keep moving forward. Resilience means continuing even when situations are difficult. It means learning from feedback without losing confidence. This skill was crucial in politics and is valuable in life for any big challenge. Donald also used storytelling and clear communication in his campaign. He connected with people by sharing his own experiences in business and television. He explained complex ideas in simple words. People could understand his message and relate to him. Communication is a powerful tool in leadership. By speaking clearly, confidently, and consistently, Donald built trust and gained support. This shows that preparation, practice, and clarity are key for influencing others. Throughout the campaign, Donald balanced ambition with strategy. He knew when to speak, when to listen, and when to negotiate. He learned that leadership requires both confidence and planning. Public opinion was unpredictable, but he remained focused on his goal. By combining bold vision with careful preparation, he increased his chances of success. This contrast between risk and planning, confidence and strategy, is a central lesson of his political journey. By the end of the campaign, Donald Trump had learned important lessons about ambition, risk-taking, and leadership. He had faced doubt, criticism, and challenges. He had used communication, confidence, and resilience to move forward. These lessons prepared him for the next stage of his life, the presidency. Leading a country is a new level of responsibility, requiring focus, decision-making, and courage. Donald's journey from business and television to politics shows that bold vision, preparation, and persistence can turn ambitious dreams into reality. Next, we will explore Donald Trump's presidency and leadership style. We will see how he made decisions, faced national and international challenges, and applied lessons from his life to lead a country. This part of the story teaches lessons about leadership, responsibility, and navigating high-pressure situations. Chapter 10: Presidency and Leadership Lessons. Welcome back, friends. Now, we reach one of the most important chapters in Donald Trump's life, his presidency and the leadership lessons we can learn from it. Becoming President of the United States is one of the most difficult and high-pressure roles in the world. Donald had faced challenges in business, media, and politics, but leading a country brought new responsibilities, bigger decisions, and global attention. This part of his story shows how persistence, strategic thinking, and confidence help in managing enormous challenges. Donald Trump became the 45th president in 2017. From the start, he faced both excitement and criticism. Millions of people supported him, while others were skeptical or critical. Running a country is very different from running a business. Decisions affect the lives of millions of people, the economy, international relations, and security. Donald learned quickly that leadership at this level requires careful thinking, focus, and the ability to handle criticism. He also learned that not everyone will agree with your decisions, and that is normal. One of the first lessons from his presidency is the importance of clear goals and vision. Donald focused on key priorities such as economic growth, job creation, and border security. He communicated these priorities clearly to the public, his administration, and international leaders. This clarity helped him make decisions consistently, even when under pressure. Leaders must understand what their main goals are and focus their energy on achieving them. Without clear goals, it is easy to get distracted or lose direction. Leadership also requires strategic thinking. Donald faced challenges at home and abroad. Domestically, he had to work with Congress, manage the economy, and respond to emergencies. Globally, he dealt with trade negotiations, alliances, and conflicts. Strategic thinking helped him plan actions carefully. For example, in trade negotiations, he used both public statements and private discussions to influence outcomes. This shows that successful leaders often balance bold action with careful planning and understanding of consequences. Decision-making under pressure was another key lesson. Leaders often face choices where every option has risks and benefits. During his presidency, Donald had to make quick decisions during crises, natural disasters, and political challenges. These moments tested his confidence, judgment, and ability to stay calm. He learned that decisive action, combined with analysis and advice from experts, is important. Hesitation can create problems, but acting without understanding can also be risky. Balancing speed and knowledge is a critical skill for leaders. Public scrutiny and criticism were constant. Donald's every decision was analyzed by the media, political opponents, and the public. Some praised him while others criticized harshly. This contrast between recognition and criticism is an important lesson. Leaders cannot please everyone. The key is to stay focused on goals, listen to feedback, and learn from mistakes without losing confidence. Public opinion may shift, but persistence and clarity of purpose guide successful leadership. Negotiation skills were vital in Donald's presidency. He often negotiated with other countries, business leaders, and government officials. Negotiation requires understanding the other party's goals, knowing your own priorities, and finding ways to reach agreements. Donald used lessons from his business career and media experience to communicate effectively, persuade others, and achieve desired results. Negotiation teaches patience, listening, and strategic compromise, essential skills for both business and life. Even during criticism and controversy, Donald demonstrated resilience. Some policies were unpopular. Some decisions were challenged legally or politically. Despite this, he remained focused on implementing his vision. Resilience is a valuable lesson for all of us. Challenges and setbacks are normal in life, but persistence, focus, and belief in one's goals can help overcome obstacles. Leaders are defined not only by their successes, but also by how they respond to difficulties. Donald's presidency also highlights the importance of adapting to new situations. Leading a country is unpredictable. Domestic crises, international conflicts, and unexpected events require flexibility. Donald had to adjust strategies, make compromises, and respond quickly to changing circumstances. This teaches a lesson for life and work. Adaptability and learning from experience are essential for long-term success. Sticking rigidly to one plan can create problems, but adapting while keeping core goals in mind is effective leadership. One story shows the contrast between challenge and success. During a trade negotiation with another country, Donald faced strong resistance. Many experts believed success was unlikely. He analyzed data, negotiated carefully, and communicated his vision clearly. In the end, agreements were reached that benefited the United States economy. This story illustrates how preparation, confidence, and persistence can turn challenges into achievements. Leaders learn from setbacks, plan carefully, and act boldly when needed. Another lesson from his presidency is staying true to one's goals and values. Donald faced pressure to compromise on policies and decisions. Critics and supporters often disagreed with his approach. However, he maintained focus on his priorities, even when facing criticism. This teaches us that strong leadership requires courage and consistency. Leaders who remain guided by their values are more likely to achieve meaningful results. During his presidency, Donald also learned about communication. Public speeches, interviews, and social media allowed him to reach millions. He realized the power of clear, simple language and direct messages. Communication is not only about words, but also about confidence, consistency, and understanding your audience. This skill is crucial for leaders in every field. Effective communication builds trust, motivates people, and clarifies vision. By the end of his presidency, Donald had faced numerous challenges, controversies, and successes. He demonstrated persistence, strategic thinking, and resilience under pressure. He showed how bold vision, preparation, and confidence can guide leadership in difficult situations. His experiences teach that success is a combination of courage, planning, learning from mistakes, and staying true to one's goals. Leadership is not easy, but it is a journey of growth, learning, and responsibility. Next, we will reflect on life lessons and legacy. We will see how Donald Trump's story, from childhood to presidency, offers lessons about ambition, risk-taking, persistence, and personal growth. These reflections help us understand the value of learning from challenges, building confidence, and balancing ambition with personal values. By studying his journey, we can apply these lessons to our own lives, work, and learning. Chapter 11. Life Lessons from Donald Trump. Welcome back, friends. Now, we reach the final part of Donald Trump's story, the life lessons we can learn from his journey, from his childhood in Queens to becoming a global figure in business, media, and politics. Donald's life is full of experiences that teach us about ambition, persistence, and personal growth. Today, we will reflect on these lessons and see how they can inspire us, not only in learning English, but also in pursuing our own goals and dreams. One of the most important lessons from Donald's life is resilience. From early mistakes in school to business challenges and public criticism, he faced many setbacks. For example, some real estate projects were close to failure, and banks sometimes refused loans. His television career brought praise, but also harsh criticism. During his presidential campaign and presidency, he faced doubt and strong opposition. Yet, he continued moving forward. Resilience means staying strong during difficulties, learning from mistakes, and continuing to work toward your goals. This lesson reminds us that challenges are part of life, but they do not define our future. Another key lesson is ambition and vision. Donald always aimed high. As a child, he dreamed of success beyond ordinary life. In his business career, he pursued skyscrapers, hotels, and large projects. On television, he built a personal brand recognized worldwide. In politics, he set his sights on the presidency. Ambition means having a clear vision for your future and being willing to work hard to achieve it. It requires courage, planning, and a willingness to take risks. Donald's story shows that bold goals can be reached when paired with persistence and careful decision-making. Learning from mistakes is also essential. Donald made errors in business, media, and personal life. Some investments failed. Some projects were delayed or over budget. Even public criticism tested his confidence. But he treated mistakes as lessons. He analyzed failures, learned strategies to improve, and applied these lessons to future projects. Mistakes are not permanent failures. They are opportunities to grow, understand, and improve. By embracing mistakes as learning experiences, we can develop skills and wisdom that help us in every area of life. Donald's life also teaches the power of public speaking and communication. From business negotiations to television appearances and political speeches, clear communication was crucial. He learned to present his ideas confidently, connect with audiences, and persuade others. Good communication builds trust, inspires action, and opens opportunities. For English learners, this is an important reminder. Practicing speaking, expressing ideas clearly, and building confidence in language can create new possibilities in personal and professional life. Communication is a skill that can change how people see you and how you see yourself. Personal branding is another valuable lesson. Donald built the Trump name into a symbol recognized worldwide. Whether in real estate, television, or politics, he used his identity, reputation, and style to create opportunities. Personal branding teaches us that how we present ourselves matters. Consistency, visibility, and authenticity help people trust and remember us. We can apply this lesson in everyday life by showing our strengths, values, and talents confidently. Personal branding is about being intentional with our actions, words, and image. Donald's story also shows the contrast between ordinary beginnings and global recognition. He grew up in a normal family in Queens, New York, faced school challenges, and had to learn discipline and confidence. Yet, through ambition, effort, and learning from failures, he achieved extraordinary success. This contrast is inspiring. No matter where you start, persistence, hard work, and strategic thinking can help you reach remarkable goals. It reminds us that starting small does not limit our potential. Every step, every decision, and every lesson builds toward bigger achievements. Another lesson is balancing personal life and ambition. Donald faced challenges in family life, marriages, and parenting. Managing relationships while pursuing big goals requires care, empathy, and time management. Learning to balance work, ambition, and personal responsibilities is crucial for a fulfilling life. Life is not only about success or fame, it is also about meaningful relationships and human connection. By balancing personal and professional priorities, we create a richer, more rewarding life. His life also teaches strategic thinking and preparation. Donald achieved success because he planned carefully, analyzed opportunities, and made calculated decisions. Whether in real estate, television, or politics, preparation was key. Big achievements rarely happen by chance. Strategic thinking allows us to use our resources wisely, anticipate challenges, and act confidently. This lesson encourages learners to approach their goals with planning, research, and thoughtful action. Finally, Donald's journey teaches hope, persistence, and growth. His life shows that setbacks, criticism, and challenges do not stop progress. By staying focused, learning from experiences, and acting boldly, it is possible to grow and achieve great things. For English learners, this is especially motivating. Learning a language can be difficult, with mistakes, misunderstandings, and slow progress. But persistence, practice, and confidence will lead to improvement and success. Donald's story reminds us that growth is a journey, not a destination. In conclusion, Donald Trump's life offers lessons for all of us: resilience, ambition, learning from mistakes, clear communication, personal branding, balancing life, strategic thinking, and persistence. His journey from ordinary beginnings to global recognition inspires us to pursue our own goals, overcome challenges, and continue learning. Whether in English, business, or personal development, these lessons are universal and valuable. So, friends, remember this: every challenge is an opportunity, every mistake is a lesson, and every small step brings you closer to your goals. Keep learning, stay confident, and never give up on your dreams. Like Donald's story shows, with ambition, courage, and persistence, you can grow, achieve, and inspire others. Your journey is just beginning. Keep working, keep practicing English, and keep believing in yourself. Every effort counts, and every lesson learned today becomes strength for tomorrow.